Today, after 30 years basically of skiing to the South Pole in 1988 and 89, becoming the first woman to ski overland 800 miles, I'm still here exploring wild places. And to me, Antarctica is very much my favorite wild place on the planet. After that ski trip to the South Pole, and it was really an expedition, not just an experience, but I came back and I went on several tours and radio shows and television programs, and I told people and shared with them my experiences and also the fact that Antarctica needs protection. Since my first visit to the Antarctic, I have seen several changes, and it's not so much the environment, it's not so much the more apparent, wonderful wildlife that you end up seeing in terms of the penguins, the seals, the whales, but it's more the weather. Antarctica climate is changing. The sea temperature is changing somewhat, and as a result, some of the glaciers are calving off and becoming enormous icebergs. But once the ice cap loses some of the ice that is inherent within the continent and within the continental ice cap, well, that's where climate change ends up being a pretty relative factor. What I'd like to see is that everyone takes a special interest in conservation and in habitat. You know, whether it is putting a bird feeder up in your own backyard, whether it's joining an environmental group that is in your neck of the woods, whether it be the Audubon Group, the Sierra Club, International Royal Society for the Preservation of Birds, BirdLife International. There are countless organizations. You can support them certainly with finances, but, you know, spread the word. And what you can do, you'll see every one of us can end up making an incredible difference. In the Antarctic, I've seen so many wonderful changes. For example, South Georgia has now been protected in terms of the eradication of introduced species. That's very much a part that affects much of the global inherent species, the endemic species that reside there. And some of it, you know, it's not, we don't have much time, we really don't. And so, you know, whatever each one of us can do as an individual, each one of us that can do as a community, we can do our part to protect the planet and to save it for many, many thousands of years to come.